Hello, everyone. My name is Caitlin Snodgrass, and today I'm going to be talking about this research article. It's called The Quality of Life, and it relates factors in women with substance use disorders, referring to substance abuse treatment centers. So it's sort of centered around substance abuse for women specifically, and like understanding the connection with their quality of life there. And this is the abstract. Abstract includes the background methods, results, and conclusion. So we can see already here that the methods involve a cross-sectional study, which the test subjects were Iranian females, interesting enough. But there was 120 of them that were used and recruited. And then SPSS 16 was used to do statistical analysis, and variance was analyzed with ANOVA, and then chi-square tests were performed, which does connect to what we learned this week in class. This is a real like example of how that could be used for a research study. And then overall, the conclusion was that these participants that do have substance use disorders are found to have a lower quality of life and like an unsatisfactory level of quality in life. So the article basically suggests focusing strong intervention um, in prevention and education, and then providing resources for help seeking behavior and treatment, effectiveness of that, and just trying to tackle as much of it on the front end as possible before it um, turns into a full addiction when women use. But in the background, it mentions the World Health Organization's definition of addictive substances, which includes every substance that the complications resulting from its consumption can affect physical and psychological health of the individual and family, as well as the economical, social, political, and current and cultural systems of the community. And then t in 2019, we can see that since 2019, the number of drug trafficking has increased, and drug use, especially amongst women, has also increased significantly um, since 2019. And then we can see that this is the goal of the study right here at the end of the introduction paragraph. Um, they're emphasizing in the blue that it's essential to do a comprehensive interventions for women, basically, and sort of help them either stop or prevent the beginning of this in order to improve their quality of life. And then the green is showing the aim of the study, which is to determine the quality of life and related factors that um, describe that, specifically amongst Hamadan women. So 120 Iranian female substance users were recruited through sampling methods. It wasn't necessarily random sampling, um, but still good sampling. And then some of the exclusion criteria they had were individuals with private centers and like private healthcare, and then or people who are unwilling to cooperate with a research team or just in general. But most people I think that joined the study stayed in the study. And then if we start looking at the results, we can see more of the statistical applications here. We can see that percentage-wise, most used drugs were meth, heroin, yeah, meth and heroin, and then based on the obtained results, the participants achieved only 35.5 or 3% of maximum achievable score. So on the surveys that they were sending out, 100% would be highest quality of life. These people were getting about a 35%, which is pretty low. And then we can even see that these p-values are significantly lower than 1. So it is the null hypothesis is rejected. And yeah, we see that here through this explanation. And then this graph right here shows a good example of how frequently these women were using different types of drugs. Um, and we can see crystal meth is significantly higher in every category. And yeah, this article was written in 2021. So if that gives some context, crystal meth is specifically the one that women like. So then throughout the discussion, it explains what the importance of improving quality of life can do, and then also it shows that the findings of the study indicate an undesirable quality of life among drug-dependent women in this study. So it is identified that their quality of life is lower. Um, More of the associations are reported here, which you can see with the p-values here. Um, And then in conclusion, overall, it's especially important in adolescents and young, low educated and early drug use and meth user women. It can increase their quality of life. So implementing education and help seeking behavior for treatment can radically change the quality of life for these women. So that's something that the study is emphasizing needs to be focused on in the future. So yeah, thank you guys for listening. I will link this article down below and you can take a look if you want. Um, Thank you. Have a good rest of your night.